All right. How are you getting on? Fucking Bake Off's back. Dab. Bake Off is back. What is this? What am I even doing? No one even asked for this. It's like that Twitter meme. Everyone blank, as in no one asked for this. Tony Cantwell. This is my Bake Off podcast and it's a video as well. So thank you very much for watching this. I'm very excited. I love Bake Off. Bake Off is the greatest show on TV. I'm pretty convinced it is. It shows a beautiful, multicultural utopia. It's all about finding the diamond in the rough. It's like finding a ma whose kids treat her like shit and just being like, you are a champion. And don't you ever let your kids talk to you like that again. Don't you ever let your children talk to you like that ever again, because you're amazing. And here you have a Guardian-sponsored cookbook. You know, it's amazing. And this season... I think it's one of the best. I think it's one of the best opening Bake Off episodes ever. You had it all. We're going to get into it, but I'm pretty excited about this as a pilot. It sets a precedent for the rest of the season that I'm very excited about that we haven't seen in Bake Off previously. Right? First off, Matt Lucas, an actually funny bit in Bake Off. He comes out as Boris Johnson. Coincidentally, Boris Johnson had just finished a press conference moments before. It had actually pushed Bake Off back a little bit. Right? People were actually going to watch Bake Off over information about being forced indoors. They were like, I don't fucking need to hear that shit. I need to know whose soggy bottom it is this year, right? So they're like, fuck that. I'm watching Bake Off. So they had to actually push Bake Off back. So it's Boris Johnson. And it sounds exactly like Boris Johnson. And he's funny, right? It's not like the normal shite patter of Sandy putting an egg on her head, being like, Bakers, you have 5 minutes, says my egg timer, you know? Or like, you know, Bakers, if you don't finish this soon, I'm going to fucking glass you, you know? Not that, you know. I'm still waiting. I could write better gags, you know. I'm hoping that, and I brought up this gag. This is probably the 4th time in the week I've talked about this gag, but I think it's good, right? There'll be, when they do pies, and someone will do like a root vegetable pie, Noel could be like, imagine trying to exchange that pie at the library. That will be a turnip for the books. You know, so I can write better power. And I'm not having a go at Noel, my peer, my fellow long-haired style rocker, rock icon like me, like Matt Lucas as well, my peer. But what's interesting about this, right, off the bat, you got Matt Lucas actually being funny, and this is what, like, how are they going to do Bake Off? I'm like thinking, how are they going to do this, right? They're going to have to social distance. That means we're going to lose a lot of the intimacy. You know, obviously they can spread it out. You know, you've seen it later in the later seasons. They just do a bigger tent or they just spread it out. There could be 3 bakers across the big tent. They're not doing it this time. This time the bakers are spending 7 weeks away from their family. They're like, not only are you all going through this, not only do you need mummy, do you not need mummy, you know? And I say mummy, right? Obviously, you know my policy on, you know, it's ma'am or nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's ma'am. Like, I'm not having a go, right? But people who say mom, Irish people at least, who say mom or mum, right? And this isn't a new thing. I'm just going to tell you how I feel about it, right? Because everyone's got their own thing. There's like a line in the sand. There's people who say ma'am, and people who say mom and mum they're just over there, right? It's not like I hate them. I'm not saying that I hate these people. I'm not saying any harm should befall them. They're just there. And if you're one of those people, fine. But you're over there. That's all you need to know about that. And the mams are over here. So there's 7 people, you know, mams who are 7 weeks away from their family. One fucking guy, Dave, you might have seen him as the armoured security man, which sounds amazing, but then you realise it's someone carrying a briefcase in a van. The armoured security man, the guy who blinks. What? You know? People who listen they listen so intently that they have to wash their eyes repeatedly just so they can hear you. He's blinking, right? And he listens really intently. He's away from his pregnant wife for 7 weeks. How the fuck did he swing that? So fair fucks to him. He's obviously a bit of a swindler, maybe a bit of a dirty player, as Craig from Big Brother Season 1 might say. So he's one to watch. But let's meet some of the bakers, right? First, and I should just say what this is, right? No one asked for this podcast. Essentially what this is just a podcast of me saying all the stuff that I said to my wife last night, and she was like, all right. All right. I'm like, that obviously wasn't loud enough. I need everyone to hear it, right? So that's what this podcast is. Linda's a cool bird. She's a handsome woman. She's a handsome older woman, you know. She's got she doesn't wear makeup, you know, her hair is just a bit, you know, she's cool. She's a cool old bird, and I'm excited to see more from her. First thing I wrote here is Mark. Right, Mark's from Narn. Mark, I wrote here, Mark's not going to last, and let me explain. I'm not having a go at Mark, right? But when I saw Mark come into the Bake Off tent, right? He's got lovely hair, and he's got a beard that I would love to be able to grow, and he's got a party shirt, right? So instantly that reminded me of someone. I started projecting myself on Mark, and as a result, I'm like, he's going to jeopardize it for himself. He's going to purposely cancel something. He's going to fucking turn off an alarm. He's going to fucking knock something. Be like, oops, I guess I'm kicked out, because he just can't commit to being under pressure, trying to fulfill his full potential. That was me projecting myself onto Mark. And I'm like, this motherfucker's not going to make it, right? He's going to purposely fuck it up for himself. I don't know if that's fair. Only time will tell, but watch this space. We meet Lorea. Lorea off the bat is making, she's doing a bubblegum flavour. They're all doing fucking Battenberg, which is shite. Battenberg, just that fucking marzipan. Like, why would you ever want to taste exclusively here? You know what I mean? It's like rose water perfume. It's like eating a fucking box of Tom Ford. Do you know what I mean? So what's the point of that? Anyway, Lorea's doing a bubblegum flavoured Battenberg. This is what the show is. Lorea's doing a bubblegum flavoured Battenberg, and Prue immediately winces at the idea of this. She winces even harder when she finds out that not only is this bubblegum flavour, but she's like, c'est different. Lorea, you fucking prune. How are you exactly going to do the bubblegum flavour? And she's like, oh, I got it in a bottle. Artificial flavour. Prue is freaked, right? Doesn't bode well for Lorea, but let's see what happens. Laura is doing raspberry. Laura, she seems like a fun woman. She seems like a fun woman, but she can't quite keep up the kind of patter. She just seems in the zone. You know what I mean? Something I realised recently, right? Ever since I got off, I was on the Lewis, and I was getting off the Lewis in kind of a bit of a hurried, right? And Lewis and ticket inspectors were getting on, and because I looked like I was in a hurry, right? One of the lads goes to me, oh, you're just getting off, are you? And I had a ticket in my pocket. And he's like, oh, just getting off, are you? And it really pissed me off, right? But I was so preoccupied with getting off, him coming from a place of kind of respect, that I didn't have the wit, I wasn't quick enough, right? And I realized that wit is just being comfortable. Wit is being like, you're no fucking better than me. You know what I mean? We're all here on the same level. And I missed out on a clear joke. And he said, are you just getting off? And I should have been, yeah, getting off with your fucking wife, you clown. But I wasn't comfortable enough in that. That's what I think wit is. It's just being comfortable enough in the environment that you're in. And Laura currently doesn't have that yet. Some people do. We'll get onto them in a sec. She's making a raspberry Battenberg. Anyway, Lottie... now, Lottie is into Viking metal. She is a panto producer, or she puts on pantos, and she's a yogi, right? I got weird, right? When Lottie came on the screen, don't know what it is. I just kind of got a weird vibe off Lottie. Lottie kind of seemed like the sort of bird who, if you're working in an office, she might start, and let's just say she'd make a very big first impression. Do you know what I mean? I'm not having a go at the woman, but she seems like the sort of woman who, like, you'd be having work drinks on the Friday, and you might say something, and she'd like laugh, like, and put her hand on your shoulder, and you'd be like, I'm fucking married. I really wish she hadn't done that. You're driving home, like, I fucking really wish she hadn't put her hand on my shoulder. So I felt like I was kind of changed, and I saw, when she was on the screen, maybe my body language changed, because Terry picked up on it, like, why are you being weird? Why are you being weird? And she seems lovely. She seems like a lovely girl. Watch the space. I think Lottie's, for me at least, one to watch in the tournament. Dave is away from his pregnant wife. He's in the armoured security man I already talked about. Mark is a care worker. Very tight necklace he's wearing, like kind of a Ryan Atwood kind of vibe. He kind of has that vibe. Shirt coming down. The first vibe I got off him was he was a bit camp, right? Then you kind of get to realise he's like, no, he's just a lad who kind of looks after himself. He's fun. He's got cool glasses. He's got a tight necklace, and he's a full-time dad. He's only got one leg. They don't even mention it. They didn't even mention it. And I'm the dickhead for mentioning it here. This is what I love about Bake Off, right? It's like your one who had the hand, a couple of seasons ago, and him. They don't even mention it. It's not important. This tent is the utopia of just complete understanding. It's just all about who you are as a person and what you can deliver in a cake, and I love it. Then we have Edinburgh accountancy student Peter. Now, Peter's got lovely little lips. Peter's lovely little lips. And I said to my wife last night, he said he seems like the sort of lad that even I might be able to convince to sleep with me. He seems straight. He just seems like the sort of lad I'd be like, hey, do you want to have a drink? He just seems very kind of like wide. He seems like a little fish in a big pond, and I'm a fucking shark. You know what I mean? No, but I mean, he seems like a little, like a. And I'm like, hey, man, would you want to join us for a drink? You know? And we'd be laughing. I might put my hand on his shoulder when he like, and then he might be like, oh, I wish he hadn't put his hand on my shoulder. You know? So he just seems like a sort of guy I might be able to convince to sleep with me. And that's a very fucking narrow lane of straight men. Sura's got a lovely face and an even nicer hijab. She brings her cat for a walk and she is down for the bants. And it's clear why. It's clear why she's so witty, because, we don't know this at the moment, but she is we'll get into, well, I won't spoil it, but Sura is one to watch in this competition. She seems witty. And she's got good rapport. She got good rapport with Noel. Then we got Matt from Narn. Matt from Narn. He seems like a nice guy. Again, I'm totally projecting my own insecurities because I kind of get a vibe off him. He looks a lot like Owen Ronayne. You know Owen Ronayne from Shifts? Very funny comedy actor, Owen Ronayne. He looks like him. That's my note for that. Rowan. Now, let me tell you about Rowan, right? Rowan is a staple there is an element of can we get the kind of, we need to get a certain, they're great for covering the diversity. But Rowan is a type that I love to see in the Bake Off tent, which is kind of an older, camper, queer gentleman, right? But you always, whenever I'm watching this, and it's like, he comes out and he's, "Hi, I'm Rowan, I love Mozart," and then when it cuts to like them in their kind of home environment with their family, you always dread hearing, like, "I'm Rowan, I just love cooking," and it's like, Rowan likes to cook for his wife, and you're like, oh no. You always see that, like, where it's, you see it kind of later on in, you see it early on in, like, seasons of Bake Off, the early seasons, where it'd be like, Mark, "I just love cooking, it's my whole life." And it's like, Mark likes to cook for his wife Deirdre and his 4 kids, and you're like, oh, Mark, you need to just fucking, And then he might come back later seasons in like a Celebrity Bake Off, and he's all of a sudden separated. You see, that happens in MasterChef quite a lot, where you see them kind of coming back, and now they have 2 earrings and they have a lovely haircut, and they seem a lot more. They're looking after their body, and they're separated. So, but luckily this wasn't the case. Rowan, it's like Rowan likes to cook for his partner Paul. Woohoo! He's out and he's happy about it. Delighted for Rowan. He loves Mozart. And that comes up quite a lot later on. Linda is a lovely, handsome woman. She works in supported housing. You got Mac. Mac is fucking straight out of Bollywood. This guy's hair, his chin, his beard, he looks fucking phenomenal. He's a very handsome man. He likes to keep bees with his son Zafar. Just seems like a wholesome enough guy. Although the lads who edit these clips, they always know that there's a gag in the clip. So Zafar is holding the bees. Like, what am I supposed to do with the bee? Obviously Zafar very reluctantly keeps bees with his father. Then you got Hermione. She's a trainee accountant. She seems like good crack. See, this is what's so captivating. I don't have any notes on what's happening. It's all just happening so fast. You're just in it, and you're in it every single step of the way. And then the biggest kind of issue here was that Rowan, his cake, he had a very ambitious cake where it was going to be like some Mozart thing. There was going to be a temple for a fucking Battenberg. He cooks it, and it's only fucking cooked on the outside. Inside, not only bloody soggy bottom, it's like fucking Glendalough. It is soaking in there, right? And it's like sopping wet. He lashes it in the fucking microwave. This is a lad who had a Perspex 3D mold to put cakes in to cut perfectly, and this thing is still sopping in the middle. And I'm like, I hope this happens a lot for him. They're like, oh, bugger, and there's like something really ambitious and it's just not working. But yeah, it looks absolutely shocking in the middle. Laura's looks fucking shy. Laura's raspberry Battenberg looks shite. It looks awful. It's not even square. It's all oblong and everything. And the lovely Lottie, the very confusing Lottie, has done something where she's making it kind of like made it look like a refresher kind of thing, like what would you call them? A refresher sweet, the refresher sweet or whatever, and it's wrapped in a bit of whatever plant. I don't fucking know. She made it look like a fucking sweet, and she made it look like it was like red and pink. What's the name of that? Or not fucking orange and pink. What's the name of the sweet? Jordan, put a picture of that sweet I'm trying to talk about there. Thank you. Also, sorry, fucking hell. Can we talk about Paul Hollywood's side parting? Daddy. You're too young to be a daddy with that side parting. Look at you. He looks great. I mean, he's a lot going into keeping it down like that. You know, he doesn't normally do it, but it looks great. I love the side parting. Prue, again, hasn't aged a day. Prue is a shocking age. How old is Prue again? Hang on. No, I'm not doing this. This is a video. Prue is older, and she looks great. But Paul has shaved off about 10 years just with the side parting. I love it. Big fan of that. But he also fucking rinses your one's dead paramedic cake. Your one, I think it was Linda. Linda's cousin was a paramedic. Very sadly died young, and she made this ambulance cake. And Paul's like, it's fucking shit. It's fucking shite. He doesn't say that, but he's like, it's a bit dry. It's a bit fucking dry. And then Prue was all like, the man the fucking cake, I want to give more the handsome paramedic, you know. She does it kind of Noel, what's his name? Noel's house party. Noel Edmonds kind of thing, you know, kind of puts her foot in it. Like when Noel pointed at the young, he pointed at a kid who had a disability, and he was like, oh, look at his little funny face. And then hang on. No, let me explain that. This is not something I can edit. No, what happened was Noel in an episode of Deal or No... No, sorry. Noel in an episode of Deal... Why did I bring this up? In an episode of Deal or No Deal, showed there was like a picture. She was like this woman who was like a contestant on it. She had a picture of herself and her brother, and they were all young, and they all had crazy haircuts. And she was like, so this is my family, and he starts laughing. And he's like, what are you laughing at? And he's like, I'm not laughing at you. I'm looking at it, laughing at this little fella. And he's like, yeah, that's my younger brother. He's quite disabled. And he goes, love, beautiful face. Wonderful expression. And they've actually deleted that off the internet. But you did it. You didn't know. You didn't mean to do it. It's no big deal. Anyway, Rowan has forgotten his magic flute, and there's no bloody temple. No, wait, hang on. He put a magic flute on it, but there's no temple. A lot of hard work for a shit-looking Battenberg, if you ask me, Rowan. Snorefest. Now, onto who won that? Who won that? Or who actually did well? I think Pete, the young fella. The little fish, the fresh fish. Peter rather did all right in that, and I think Sewer did well as well. Onto the technical. This pineapple upside down cake, I'm into it. Looks nice, even though they keep fucking it up. They're putting too much caramel in it. They're putting too much syrup in it. They're not blowing me away bake wise. In fact, the original Paul Hollywood upside down pineapple cake looks so good that me and my wife, diet as we are on, even tucked into a pack of fucking straws. I know, God. 20 lashings for that, you know. We're meant to be on a diet. And they were just too good. It looked too good. We needed something sweet, and we tucked into a pack of Athlone sweet straws, and they were lovely. But here's where it gets very interesting. Not only are these motherfuckers kept away from their family for 7 weeks, Big Brother style, the Bake Off team have put a plant in there. It's Sora. Sora fucking knocks David's cakes over. David. Can't believe his eyes. His cakes have just been smacked like fucking Biff Tannen. Sora just knocks, oops. And not only does she jeopardize him in the competition, but it also means that she fucking wins. She gets rewarded for it. Because at first I was like, she's going to join Diana. Remember Diana? Diana, she took Ian's baked Alaska out of the thing, and then he was like, curly whirly, I can't believe it, it's fucking sopping wet. And he dumped it in the bin, and he had nothing to show for it, so he got the boot. And then she didn't show up. People thought that she didn't show up the next week, that she left. They should have brought Ian back in, by the way. But she then left the competition. Apparently, it wasn't because she was kind of like worried about being in the fucking Hall of Shame, which she should be with Sora now. It's apparently Diana didn't come back because she fell, right? She fell and lost her sense of fucking taste and smell. And then she was like, I can't be in the competition anymore. Isn't that fucking insane? Isn't that insane? I'm not even going to say more about that, but it's not insane. Anyway, so Sora belongs with Diane in the GBBO Hall of Shame, but she gets rewarded for it This is like if Nasty Nick won the competition. So she is playing a very dirty game, right? And she's been rewarded for it. This is a season where the nasty people are going to survive. And now we get on to the signature bake, right? They have to do a full cake bust of a person they admire, like that. But a cake, right? Do you know what as well I fucking hate, right? You know this, is it real or is it a cake? It's never a cake. It's never a cake. It's someone with a shoe, with a bit of cream on a knife, touching a shoe. Anyone can do that. Make it into a cake. I'm not over with the meme of it being a cake. I'm not done with that. But people doing this shite power, is it real or is it a cake? I put a bit of cream on it. It's my least favourite. That and Baba Booey is my least favourite TikTok memes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then I'm sorry. You're old. You're old. I'm young. I'm with the kids. So they have to make a full bust of a cake. Mark is making a Bowie bust, right? And Prue is like, and the other thing, Mac, you fucking prun. Bowie is very beautiful. He's so beautiful. David Bowie is so beautiful. Are you going to be able to do his fucking like cheekbones and all? Are you going to do, Matt? You going to do his fucking cheekbones and all? And he's like, yeah, no, he's not fucking South African. Anyway. He's doing a Bowie bust. We'll see what happens. Linda, she's a funkychicken.com. Funkypigeon.com. Fucked it up. Funkypigeon.com. She's doing a Bob Marley bust. Will it be Bob Marley break or Bob Marley bust? Do you watch this bloody space? Laura is doing... So yeah, Linda's, Linda's funky. Do you know what I mean? Linda's doing... You're the Bob Marley, are you, Linda? You're the Bob Marley, if you know what I mean. I bet her DMs are being fucking blown up with lads trying to sell her hash. Laura is doing Freddie Mercury, which is fun, and she's doing it kind of cool. I will say this as well. The illustrations for the cakes looks great, but they're too good. The cakes are going to look shite by comparison to the illustrations. Whoever they got in to do the illustrations of these, fucking top marks, but you are really letting down how this... I think maybe that's part of the fun of it. Make it look what it should have been like, and then we'll laugh at how... And they're fucking shite, these cakes. Anyway, we'll get into that in a second. Freddie Mercury, right? But it's kind of this cool kind of emoji Freddie Mercury. Not kind of real life bust. It's kind of cool little emoji eyes. It's got the teeth. It gets all the elements of Freddie Mercury. Also, do you remember Aidan Gillen in Bohemian Rhapsody? When he comes out, he's like the manager of Queen, and he comes, he's like, "You must be Queen, and you must be Freddie Mercury." Remember that? Bohemian Rhapsody? Fucking shocking film. Shocking film. In Rocket Man, they had a whole musical number when he's in an orgy. And then fucking Bohemian Rhapsody, it's like all about Brian May and how they came up with the bass line for Another One Bites the Dust. Listen, I'm not going to have a go at you, Queen, right? I'm not having a go at the lads, right? It's great you're still alive, but no one gives a fuck, man. That's why Sacha Baron Cohen had to leave the flick. They were like, this is a fluff piece for the rest of Queen. No, like, it's great they have the lad from Jurassic Park. Doom, doom, doom. That's fun, But what's going on in Freddie's gaff? Show me more about Freddie. Anyway, we'll get on to that. Well, we're not. I'm don't talk about that. Anyway, Larea is doing a Mrs. Lou cake. And spoiler alert, she's not going to win. To quote Veronica Guerin, she's not going to win. Sora's doing Attenborough, and Sora is just delivering the patter. She is just so comfortable and so confident in this environment, right? Because she's a bully. She thinks everyone else is shit. She's embarrassed to be around everyone. That's why she's so confident and calm when she chats to Noel. It's not that she's witty. She just doesn't give a shit about anyone else, so she can really speak her mind. It's great. I love it. She is like the Chantel of Celebrity Big Brother. She's a plant to fuck up the competition, and I love it. Watch this space. This is not going to be the last time you see her fucking it up for everyone else. Mark is doing Darwin. Curly Whirly. I'm doing Darwin. I was just reading Origin of the Species there, and I decided I'm going to do Darwin. He honestly looks so much like Owen Renane. So Mark's doing Darwin. He's probably going to fuck it up. He's probably just put his fucking elbow in it like I would. Oh, whoops, I guess I got to leave the competition. Oh, well, I'm crying myself to sleep because I just wouldn't fulfill my potential. Lottie, the very confusing Lottie, is doing Louis Theroux, which I think is great. Louis Theroux, he's the kind of guy, tricks you, gets in your mind like Lottie does. The temptress. Lottie. Rowan's doing Marie Antoinette. Now, Rowan tried to, in the last one, do a temple and a fucking magic flute like temple for a Battenberg. So when Marie Antoinette, I just rolled my eyes and I was like, I really hope Rowan's whole gimmick here is he plans on doing real lavish cakes, but it's always shy. That's what I love this whole thing to be, you know. I've decided to do Notre Dame, and all the people are going to be profiteroles, and Pruitt to be like, Rowan, mate, you fucking prawn. Stop, just do something simple, mate. Just do a fucking tiered cake. Stop trying to do something so ambitious. You're going to fuck it up, you know. I've decided I'm just going to do it's bread week, so I'm going to do the Mona Lisa, and it's just like a fucking bap with two fucking cloves for eyes. Like, Rowan, stop, mate. It's going to be fucking shit. I just went into Ramsey there. Peter is doing Chris Hoy. I don't know who that is. When I saw him doing the kind of Team GB thing, I got a weird vibe, because for me, Bradley Wiggins seems like a bit of a dickhead to Irish people. I didn't really look much into that, but I saw him kind of in a tweet that I didn't fully click into, that was showing a video that I didn't listen to. Apparently he was being rude to an Irish person, so he's cancelled. That's as much information for me, a millennial, needs for someone to be cancelled. So he's done, and Chris Hoy as well, even though he's Scottish, as I found out, is cancelled to me as well. Here we go, Mark Curly Whirly. I'm after dropping the sponge. Oops. Don't worry, I can put it on top later on. It'll be fine. He's like, oh, just drop the fucking sponge. Oops. Oh, I had to go. Oh, ma'am, I had to go home early. Well, you tried your best. You're still proud of me? Yeah, I'm still proud of you. I love you no matter what. Great being a child of divorce. Dave's doing Tom DeLonge. I didn't know Dave was cool. I didn't know he was a cool dude. All that blinking, you know, made me think he wasn't cool. He turns out he's a really cool dude. He's into Blink-182. I'm down for you. Who is next? Bloody Hermione is doing Lupita Nyong'o, which is fun. Mac is doing Bill Bryson. And Lupita Nyong'o has like a lovely dress and everything. Looks like it's going to be a lot of interesting marzipan work, or whatever it is, icing, whatever it is. I don't know how to fucking make a cake, right? I just know how to fucking scathe them. Mac's doing Bill Bryson, and it looks like it's going to be a bit like Bill Bryson, not too overly ambitious, kind of an older guy. Here's where it gets exciting. Rowan starts going to shit. He's starting to make a load of fucking dress out of profiteroles, and all the profiteroles are fucking shocking. And I'm like, this is going to be brilliant. It's honestly, I'm hoping it's just going to be a fucking pancake with two dots for eyes, being like, this is Marie Antoinette, and he's just weeping. And honestly, the fucking state of these cakes, none of them are standing up. And also, they finished the cakes, right? And what? So you're telling me Sura isn't playing a dirty game? Attenborough goes fucking walkabout, falls over. Sura's allowed to go in. So when previously would have been like, all right, tools down, stop with the cakes, right? Sura just fucking sprints back in and picks the cake back up. Are you telling me Sura's not a plant, right? I'm the Alex Jones of Bake Off. Sura's a fucking plant, okay? She's obviously the producers put in Sura to fuck things up. It's clear that Sura's a plant. Anyway, let's have a look at the cakes. Rowan, he pulls it off. Marianto looks all right. Big fucking rice paper hair. Can you eat it? No. So you shouldn't be allowed to do that, but still looks all right. The lovely Lottie. Bone dry, unfortunately. Louis Theroux, looking bone dry. Bill Bryson, bone dry. Paul Hollywood, not happy. Bob Marley. Linda, honey, listen. You got to put eyes on this guy. Linda, listen, honey. You got to put eyes and a fucking mouth on. All right, I'm going to draw you a picture of someone. There, a fucking circle. Who's that? Do you even know it's a person? No, because you need the eyes and the mouth. Even if you just fucking put a little pen in and just dragged it along like you do with blue tack, and it gets, and it gets all clumpy on the side. Just do that. Just do that. How could you not give him eyes? Well, I suppose, the legacy of Bob Marley. What were you fucking smoking to think this lad didn't need eyes? Chris Hoy, Peter, you clever bloody clogs. You didn't do hair. You barely did a face. You put glasses on him. You put shoulders on him. It's recognisable apparently as Chris Hoy because you did all this. Very clever. Very clever. Although you're a cheater. But See, this is what I don't like about Peter, right? I want Bake Off to be. I don't want these Johnny Bone Jones people coming in here, right? I don't want these like freak athletes who are able to they have this, fucking, Rain Man fucking connect the dots kind of, a beautiful mind vibe being like, if I just focus directly on bread for a week and do nothing and do 20, I'm a fucking, alpha man or whatever it's called. People who just fucking sleep 2 hours a day and can focus on something. Give me the Lindas, the people, the unsung heroes of their day who are stars, who need to be found. I don't want people like Peter who just found a hobby and went through 20,000 YouTube videos to get it right. That's not Bake Off to me. So yeah, you did it, you pulled it off, but I know you got lovely lips. You're a good looking guy. Good looking young guy. And I think if when you're finishing the competition and if you get the all clear, let's go for a drink sometime. Tom DeLonge looks unreal. It looks great. It looks like a kind of R. Crumb kind of illustration, like kind of Santa Cruz hand kind of thing. It looks cool. Weird fucking flavours. Although he seems like the sort of guy who would have a weird mix of flavours. His head is fucking mint and fucking raspberry. The inside is like mint blue and it's wine on the inside. Like it's clashing colours even inside the cake. It's like these two. Well, no, that's actually nice. That's nice, but it looks weird. Bowie looks, and I've seen a lot of death masks of David Bowie. He kind of looks like he looks like someone's fucking kissing his neck. Like, go away. But it looks like someone's trying to kiss his neck. Why did I do that? But fair fucks, he kind of has the face, but it looks like it's a death mask that's melted. It doesn't look great. Hermione's Lupita Nyong'o. I'm just gonna fucking say it looks like fucking Shergar. Looks like fucking Seabiscuit. More like a fucking Seabiscuit base. 12 years a slave, more like 12 years a fucking horse. It doesn't look great. Black Panther, more like Black Beauty. It looks like a horse. You made a horse cake. It doesn't look like Lupita Nyong'o at all. Darwin looks decent. Darwin actually looks good. Now, this one doesn't have eyes, but it's kind of a bust. It actually looks like an old bust of Darwin that you might see in the British Museum. And Mark's grown on me. He's pulled it off. Maybe he's not like me, and he's actually a success. Mrs. Lou looks like fucking E.T. It looks like fucking Pierce Morgan with his eyes. If you look at a good picture, Jordan, bring up a picture of Pierce Morgan there. Pierce Morgan always looks like his eyes are just trying to fall off the sides of his head. Like, they're not supposed to be there, so they're falling, And this is what this looks like as well. E.T. meets Pierce Morgan. Sura Attenborough looks great, but there's no fucking surprise there if you even made it, Sura. If you even made that cake yourself. Look, you're great. You're a good looking woman. You're funny, right? But you're a fucking, are you a bloody fern? Because you're a plant. Are you a fern? Because you're a plant, love, right? Are you a bloody cactus? Whatever. I don't know what other. I can't think of any other fucking plants. Are you a fucking singer in Led Zeppelin? Because you're a fucking plant. And Freddie was delicious, and I like the look of it personally. They didn't seem to like it that much. I liked the kind of flat emoji look. Now he doesn't have a neck, but I thought it looked good. In the end, it was the one who made the bad first impression up top. It is Larea and her synthetic bubblegum cake at the top. And who was it? Did she do? Which did she do? Would she do? Yeah, and her E.T. looking fucking Miss Lou. Her Pierce Morgan cake. So I'm sorry, Larea. You have to go out to the big bad world. The corona-filled world. But what a fucking pilot. Hey, is Bake Off bloody Captain Sullenberger? Because what a pilot. You know what I mean? Or not pilot, but first episode, you know what I mean? I thought it was great. Highlights are the middle parting, the dirtiest player in the game, Sura, and the Shergar cake. Very exciting times. I'm excited to see what happens next week on the Bake Off. See you next. Oh, no, hang on. What am I talking about? Well, I didn't even know what I was going to say there. If you like this video, let me know. I'll make more. I'm going to put them out on Wednesdays, the day after, Wednesday evenings. It takes me that long to make them. After I do Bake Off. If you like it, let me know. If you don't tell me at all. Support things being made. And I love you a lot. See you later.